The San Diego Padres are in town for a 4-game series. Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Truist. We welcome you to Truist Park on this Monday night. As the Braves bats have been hot, we'll see if they can continue those hot hitting ways here against the Padres, who swept the Braves last month out west. So time for some revenge. Brandon Gaudin back with CJ Nitkowski. I mentioned the bats, the month of July. Very different, CJ, from the month of June. Everything seems to be going in the right direction right now.
It is, and June was not a pretty month for the Atlanta Braves when it came to the offense, but they are getting it turned around, and July has been excellent here so far. As we take a look at their ranks here in the month of July, among all teams in baseball, the runs, the extra base hits, best in the game. Home runs and batting average, OPS second or third. In June, it was the complete opposite. None of those things going well. All of those categories, the Braves were dead last. And Austin Riley, maybe one of the biggest developments happening right now for this Braves offense.
On the other side, the Padres, a game under 500. You look at their roster and you think maybe they should be better. They've got a great bullpen. What do you think of this team right now?
Yeah, this is going to be interesting for them the rest of the way as we get closer to the trade deadline, because there may be some subtractions coming from San Diego. You can see where the record is now, 2.5 games back in a National League wild card that is very crowded right now. There is their issue. The starting pitcher's ERA, and they have a lot of arms that are on the IL right now. This doesn't feel like a postseason team, even though it's a pretty good roster with a lot of experience behind it.
Getting back to those Braves bats being hot, Austin Riley has turned a corner. He had a great game yesterday, and when we return, Nick Green and Peter Moylan are going to have more on the Braves' third baseman.
I didn't recognize.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Yamaha. Visit YamahaBoats.com and discover why nothing feels like a Yamaha. By Resurgence Orthopedics, scheduled online today. And also by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today.
We're getting ready for game 1 of 4 against the San Diego Padres here at Truist Park. The Braves coming off a nice series win against the Texas Rangers to start off this second half. Welcome into our set outside in the Battery is Nick Green alongside Peter Moylan. Peter, the offense in the month of July has been really good. We're looking for a couple of guys to really tick things up in the right direction. We saw that from Austin Riley in the series against Texas.
It's been longer than this series, but this last series was obviously really good for him. The home runs has got to sort of set him free a little bit. There was a little bit of pressure taken off his shoulders, especially after that swing. But it's the month of July that I'm pointing to, Nicky, and it's been a really good month. He's hitting about 280. The OPS is around 850, which is exactly where we want Austin Riley to be. That's where he was when he was at his peak, and that's where he wanted to be for the rest of the year.
Yeah, in the series versus the Rangers, the focus for a lot of Legionnaire flavor that hits. Austin Riley, 6 hits and 12 at-bats, 3 homers on this series, a couple home runs yesterday as well, 4 homers in the month of July. Also, we want to stay on that theme too of offense. Drake Baldwin was just named Player of the Week for the National League. It's the right choice. Wiley Ballard sat down with him, so you don't want to miss this one. This is the first of 4 against the Padres.
Pitch, Baldwin finds a gap, leadoff single. And Drake Baldwin puts a charge into it, and it gets out of here! A Baldwin bomb!
Baldwin, he's back to form. I think it's official now.
And another hit for Drake Baldwin. Flap to left, and Drake Baldwin is 4 for 4. Drake Baldwin hits it high in the air and into the bullpen. Baldwin is 5 for 5. Yeah, Drake Baldwin, you could say that he's on a heater, especially yesterday. What a game it was for Drake Baldwin as we get ready to start a new series against the San Diego Padres. But let's focus on Drake. GMC making the grade feature, 10 for 14. 10 hits in the series against the Rangers, 3 homers. He is your National League Player of the Week, and he is also with Wiley Ballard.
Drake, before we get to baseball, I'm just curious. Now, a year and a half, you've been with the Braves at the Major League level. Is Atlanta starting to feel like home a little bit?
Yeah, it definitely feels like a good spot. I mean, this fan base has really kind of brought me in and made it feel like home. And I mean, just coming to the park every day with the teammates that I have, and just really good relationships with them, and it makes it a ton of fun. So definitely starting to feel like, or it definitely does feel like home right by now.
So on the rare occasion you have a night off or a day off and you're in Atlanta, what are you getting into?
Most of the time trying to find a lake, go fishing, get a good dinner, and then just chill, maybe watch a movie at night. So I mean, yeah, just get a little bit outdoors and then and then just chill and get ready for the next day.
Is there a lake that has been the most successful fishing wise?
I went on Lake Lanier a little bit ago with Bart, and we kind of killed it there. So that was a good lake. Caught some bass, caught some stripers. So that was a fun time.
All right, let's talk some baseball. You know, you suffered an injury and missed extended time. I think we were talking, that's the first time you really had like a serious injury since like your sophomore year of high school. How hard was that to try and come back in the midst of the season? Because you haven't had to do that really. Yeah,
I mean, it's definitely different. You're coming back without seeing live pitching in like a month, and everyone else is in midseason form. So I think it's definitely a learning experience, and I had a lot of good people around me to help me kind of get through that, even though it took a little bit longer than I would have wished. But yeah, it's just about keep having those same routines, keep grinding through it, and try to get out of it as quick as I can.
Well, Drake, you mentioned working through some things during your time on the injured list. Was there any one tweak or specific drill you felt like got you back?
I wouldn't really say it was one tweak. It was just kind of the confidence of going in there and trying to have the best at bat I could, trying to get a good pitch to hit and put my best swing on it, rather than going out there and kind of trying to fish for a hit. So once I kind of got back to the process and just trying to put a good swing on the ball, whether it got caught or not, maybe take some walks here and there, I felt like my groove started to come back, and it started to have some more good at bats and have a little bit more production.
Before we let you go, Didier Fuentes had one of the biggest outs yesterday. Just as a catcher, what is it like working with a guy who's 21 years old and throws cheese like that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's been a starter for a long time before this, and seeing him transition into the bullpen, and when he's out there, he looks ready to go, which is pretty impressive from someone that age. And I mean, he's attacking hitters, and he has really good stuff to do it. So I mean, it's definitely fun to catch a guy like that who has that live of an arm, and he's got some huge outs for us down these last couple months.
Well, Drake, thanks for the time, and best of luck the next off day on the lake.
Perfect, thank you.
All right, we got Braves and Padres, the first of 4 against the Friars. It's a Monday night at Truist Park. We've got Braves baseball next.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Reliable Wi-Fi at one price. Xfinity, imagine that. By Delta Airlines, keep climbing. And also by Racetrack, whatever gets you going. The Padres in town for a 4-game series starting on this Monday night. It is game number 99 of the season for the Atlanta Braves. And Bryce Elder leading the boys out there, making the start tonight. We know the story, CJ. He's had some bumps and bruises as of late after beginning the year so strong. Hopefully he can get it going in the right direction tonight.
A little bit of a break, right? 10 days in between his last start here for Bryce Elder. And we know, as you mentioned, how important he was to this team at the beginning of the season. We need him to find a way to recapture that again now.
The lineup that he will be facing for the San Diego Padres is a lineup that has struggled all year until yesterday when they put up 19 runs in Kansas City. That was their season high, but it'll start with Tatis, Merrill, and then Machado, the first 3 in the order for first-year skipper Craig Stammen. CJ, about your forward keys.
I know you know all about the triple D. What about the triple B? The bounce back Bryce outing. That's what's going to happen here tonight. That's what we are banking on. His ability to get deep in the game is going to matter as well, because the bullpen is a little bit light, and you got to do the right thing, BG. And I know you always do the right thing, but for JP Sears, he has had serious issues with right-handed hitters this year. Austin Riley on a little bit of a heater. Let's see if that can continue here tonight.
Yeah, a couple of homers for Riley yesterday. He's over there at third base. Let's get a look at the rest of the defense for the Atlanta Braves. Presented by our friends at Racetrack. Dubon, Harris, and Eli White in the outfield. Jarvis another start at short. Joey Bart will give Baldwin a break. Baldwin will DH, and Bart will be the battery for Elder.
And perhaps maybe because he hit a 2-run home run against J.P. Sears the last time Sears saw the Atlanta Braves.
Braves owe the Padres a couple of losses because the Braves are 1-9 against the Padres in the last 10, and the Padres swept Atlanta out in San Diego last month. Let's see if they can get on the right side of things here as Elder begins with a strike to Tatis. Your home plate umpire tonight is Mike Malinsky.
For Malinsky, kind of near the bottom in Major League Baseball with that correct call percentage under 95%. A little bit tighter than most that we have seen this year.
Elder missing up with a couple here to Tatis, who has been swinging a better bat as of late. He had a homer in each of the last 2 games there in Kansas City over the weekend. Whoa! There goes the bat.
Not only did he toss it, but he tossed it with some velocity behind it. That was a low liner that went into that net pretty hard against the Bryce Elder cutter. And we don't see him throw that cutter to righties very often, but watch this thing go.
I mean, that's about as far as it goes. We've seen him certainly go a lot higher. We don't see many go further than that.
He's coming with some heat. But so few times for Bryce Elder. That cutter is new. He uses it for lefties. But Fernando Tatis saw that it was less than 4% usage to righties. He's not even thinking about that pitch.
Ooh, it's tough to challenge this early. It might have been a strike. I think it clipped that corner. That one did miss, so that's tough. Could have been a strikeout instead. A walk for Fernando Tatis. So Jackson Merrill, he had 2 of the 5 homers yesterday for San Diego. Again, the offensive numbers not good, near the bottom of baseball in virtually every category. But that was close. But they busted out for 19 runs yesterday against the Royals.
And you do have to be careful about this team running. 25 stolen bases for Fernando Tatis Jr. They're not going to challenge this one. And they're struggling in a lot of areas, but tied for the 2nd most stolen bases in the game. And that was close. Had Matty gotten him on the elbow a little bit earlier, I think we would have saw a challenge.
Yeah, you got 25 stolen bases from Tatis down there at first. This guy at the plate, Merrill, he's got great speed. He's got 20 stolen bases, so that's certainly one of their strengths.
And we'll see for Braves pitching over the next 4 days if they can take advantage of one of the issues for Jackson Merrill. OPS is down significantly for him this year, and a big part of it has been chase. Chasing fastballs up above the zone, breaking pitches off speed below the zone.
A couple of fastballs for Elder to get ahead 0-2. Look at that. Well, you called it, partner. He went high with a fastball, and Merrill went after it.
And you put him on alert with the 4-seamer. Again, we don't see a lot of these. This is not something for Bryce Elder that we necessarily look at as one of his best weapons, but it is 3 straight 4-seam fastballs. And look at Joey Bart right there. Actually wanted Elder to step off. I think he was concerned about a pitch clock violation.
Machado lays down a bunt and a beauty. There is nothing you can do with that.
Two ways to look at it, right? I mean, this is your 3-hole hitter in the 1st inning, and yes, it is a very nice bunt, but this team is struggling offensively, and when you're hitting 3rd with the monster contract that Manny Machado has, sure, you like base runners, but at the same time, you're kind of passing the buck right now.
Yeah, that's their leader in home runs and RBIs, so let's see how it all plays out here. 2 on, 1 out for the cleanup man now, Ty France. He has been their hottest hitter here over the last week. Both runners go. Play at 3rd. Got him.
weird series of events here for the San Diego Padres. First the bunt from Manny Machado, and then a double steal, and there's going to be no challenge here that Fernando Tatis Jr. is going to be out. The throw beat him. It's just a matter of whether or not he got around the tag, and Austin was able to get that left hand while the right hand tried to swim around. It's close.
Great look there.
Well,
good throw by Joey Bart. Nice tag by Riley. Big second out. France grounds to third. Riley has it. And just like that, the threat is over. And the Bravos are coming up.
it's a good bunt, though.
He's come to the plate with the National League Player of the Week, Drake Baldwin. He's going to lead it off. And then Ozzie and Matt Olson. Austin Riley moved up to the 4th spot in the order with his recent success and with a lefty on the mound tonight for the San Diego Padres. JP Sears, so 5th start of the season, his season debut at the big league level, CJ. It was a win against the Braves.
He did a nice job. Just that Joey Bart 2-run home run, but that was it. The overall numbers for him through the 4, you could see him there. Doesn't throw all that hard. Fastball sits at 93. Changeup, sweeper, slider, 2-seam fastball, and cutter. So you do get the full kitchen sink from the left-hander.
And he starts by facing Drake Baldwin, who had that historic game yesterday. 5 for 5, 2 homers, throwing a stolen base for good measure. First 5-hit game by a Braves catcher since Johnny Estrada 22 years ago.
And the 5-hit game was great. It was terrific, but the stolen base was pretty incredible, actually, because Nate Eovaldi does a nice job holding potential base stealers. They were just 2 for 5 against him. Drake Baldwin, there's a lot we love about Drake, but we don't talk about his speed very often. But he did a really nice job, and he talked about it after the game and being prepared. And the plan was you're going to first pitch if you get on, and 2 pitches into the game, he had a base hit and a stolen base.
I asked him before the game, I said, all right, you're 4 for 4. You're coming up for that 5th AB. What's on your mind? He said, I'm not going to lie. I was thinking 5 for 5 would be pretty cool. And he got it done. Got it done with a homer.
So I was pretty locked in watching that game yesterday. And the thing that got me when I started doing some 5-hit research was the fact that Ender Inciarte had 3 5-hit games in 2017. The Braves are good for about 1 a year on average, except for that year.
Yeah, that would be a trivia question I don't think anybody would get correct. But it looks like Sears is going to retire Baldwin. 1 down. Cronenworth back at second base. Racetrack defense here for the Padres. When the Braves played out in San Diego, Cronenworth was on the injured list, so now they've got him back. Song gets the start today at short, and Machado at third, and then Ty France has been playing really good over there at first base this year.
And defense is good. Only 38 errors. That is 3rd fewest in baseball for the San Diego Padres.
Ozzie high in the air, shallow left center. 2 outs now in the bottom of the 1st. I showed you the collective numbers for JP Sears over the 4 starts. He had 1 blow-up start after that season debut against the Braves where he had that success. He gave up 7 runs to the Cubs. Then he goes 5 innings and shuts out the Dodgers. And then last time out, struggled against the Blue Jays. So it's kind of been feast or famine so far for Sears.
I think when you watch him pitch, again, it's impressive, good location at 93, but he's not going to overpower you. There's a lot of different pitches. He has a smaller margin for error as far as making mistakes over the plate. And Mentioned that game against the Cubs where he gave up 3 homers en route to giving up those 7 runs.
But he's going to have a clean bottom of the first. Merrill in. On we go to the second in game 1 of this 4-game series.
One incredible impact. Go to choa.org/bravekids and purchase a baseball today, because every child deserves extra innings.
Yes, they do, Jeff. choa.org/bravekids, or scan that QR code on your screen right now. Brandon Gaudin, CJ Nitkowski, Wiley Ballard here at Truist Park. Scoreless first inning, on to the second. Gavin Sheets now to face Elder.
So this is what we keep an eye on tonight, I think, for Elder with the time off, is how he does against lefties. He was so dominant against those left-handed hitters at the beginning when he was on his run that has slowed down. He's got 4 lefties in the lineup tonight.
And that home run ball has started to become an issue as of late for Bryce.
It certainly has, and trying to figure it out now with the Padres, right? There certainly is some pop in this lineup at times. This has been a kind of a hot and cold offense, but they've been able to hit a few home runs, and it's the big bats in the middle, really at the top, that you got to worry about. That's a good sign right there. Cutter in for the foul ball, and then the front door 2-seam fastball. Those are key.
Sheets is capable. 14 homers. Right field, Eli White, well played. 1 down.
Care to take a guess on the last time Manny Machado had a bunt single?
21.
2017.
Ooh.
When he was an Oriole. I don't get it.
That's why he caught everybody by surprise. But like you said, that's not really what he's out there to do, and it did not work out for them.
Nope. 2 pitches later, the inning was over. Caught stealing and then the ground out.
The DH Xander Bogaerts. We talked about him when the Braves played out in San Diego. He's had his struggles this year. He had a solid April, but since the start of May, he's been hitting below the Mendoza line. Kind of a didn't mean to towards Jarvis. 2 away. Just like the last couple of days, 89 degrees right now here in Atlanta. It's had some humidity earlier, but sun behind the clouds right now.
That should make for a good evening. And I would think for Bryce Elder, I don't know if I've ever had this conversation with him, but you get some of that humidity. It's nice for a sinker ball pitcher. Sometimes they like the air to be a little thick. That was a 2-seam fastball that he threw in on the hands to Bogaerts. We'll see if maybe the weather affects that pitch in a positive way.
Jake Cronenworth, liner to center. Michael Harris is there. Quick 1-2-3, top of the second. As we go to the bottom of the second, we also go down to Wiley Ballard for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta Field Report.
Well, Brandon, you mentioned it the last time the Braves and Padres got together. San Diego got the better of Atlanta, and particularly it was San Diego's bullpen getting the better of Atlanta's left-handed hitters. Austin Riley is in the cleanup spot because of that tonight. Walt Weiss wanting to break up the left-handed hitters. They still expect San Diego to go with those lefties, and I want to talk to Tim Hires about it. The big secret for them is the velocity they have from the left side in the bullpen is serious. It's the second best average fastball velocity from left-handed relievers in all of baseball.
Yeah, Morahone in particular, who's kind of the top dog, and there's some good ones down in that bullpen for the Padres. We haven't seen the Braves do this too often, right? They have not been afraid to stack their lefties. Walt talked about that at the beginning of spring training, but a little bit different here against the Padres when you have those kinds of arms down in their pen.
And it comes at a good time with Austin swinging a hot bat. The 2 homers yesterday. He's going to check on Freddie Fermin.
I thought it was really good to see because it was 2 different pitches, right? The slider, you almost expect him to get to breaking pitches that are in the zone, but the fastball that he hit out, right, that had been an issue for him, not being able to get to the fastball, popping more of those up than he would like, and he squared one up in a big way. That's going to be a huge confidence booster for Austin Riley.
He gets a hold of this. Pretty deep to center field, but he got underneath it. Also have the wind kind of swirling right now, and it died down in that wind as well, but I don't think that was going to get out of here either way.
It sounded really good off the bat and just missed that one. That's the difference of the ones that have been popping up. That's one thing. That one was barreled that he just got under a little bit.
And guys, one last note on Riley too. Walt Weiss actually called him before he got to the ballpark and asked him what he felt about moving up to that 4th spot, because Walt didn't want to make a knee-jerk reaction. Obviously they were thrilled with the day he had yesterday, but didn't want to have it move too fast. But Austin said he was all for it, anything to make things a little tougher against that San Diego bullpen.
Can't imagine there's too many times in his career where he's asked to do something and he said no.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, he seems like such an unselfish player in the way that he carries himself. And it also makes sense against JP Sears. I mean, the numbers, they're pretty stark. I know it's only 4 starts, but righty's hitting 290, lefty's just 125.
Now facing a lefty here in Michael Harris. With the production yesterday, back up over 300 for batting average, 17 homers, 3 off his career high. Tatis comes in and has it. So far 5 up, 5 down for Sears. 4 of those have been in the air to the outfield.
And Michael's reaction there told you he felt like he should have got that one hanging sweeper that he couldn't quite barrel up.
So 15 pitches to get the first 5 outs for JP Sears. And Dubon is going to take that slider away. Six for 20 with 3 doubles and a homer against Sears when these 2 have squared off. Is there going to be room? The answer is no. A lot of balls to the outfield. And again, Sears can be home run prone, but so far nothing for the Braves through 2. You are locked into Braves Vision, powered by Southern Company. Here in the month of July, the Braves have been powered by a really good offense and a lot of homers against the Texas Rangers. The Braves hit 9 of them, hoping to continue that today. They've been flirting with it with a lot of fly balls to the outfield, but no damage yet.
I think comfortable swings, right? Kind of carrying over from what you're talking about, how good the offense has been. And well, so far there has been nothing yet. I think it's a good start as far as pitch recognition and some quality swings.
Elder back to work against 8-9-1, starting with the catcher Freddie Fermin. Career .249 hitter, but you can see this season a little bit different. He's also had some issues with a concussion. He got hit in the mask again and missed some time, even though it wasn't a concussion. He was foggy, so he's kind of been through the ringer this year.
And you can see how aggressive he is swinging at that first pitch, offering at the second one. I think for Bryce Elder, when you see the kind of numbers, you know the guy's having a little bit of a rough year. You put him in attack mode right away, and now you try to get some chase.
Got him. Slider, swing and a miss by Fermin. 2 Ks for Elder.
Put that on the list of keys here for Bryce Elder. We know how good, again, the slider was at the beginning of the year. It's been a rough stretch over his last 7 where he hadn't thrown particularly well, and the slider is getting hit hard. 379 batting average against it, but that was a nice looking sharp one there from Bryce Elder. Take a few more of those tonight.
The rookie from Korea, Sungmoon Song, he tries to lay down a bunt, but unsuccessful. This would be your more traditional bunter here.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? Bottom of the order, not a lot of power. You can see that just had 655 OPS. And Matt Olson playing back, so it is a good guy to potentially try to drag bunt on.
"11 seasons in the KBO for Song before coming over to the States." Extra long break for Bryce Elder, with, as CJ mentioned, that last start coming on July 9th, today being July 20th. Of course, the All-Star break in between. We often talk about how he likes being on regular rest, but maybe with how things were going, this could be a good reset for number 55.
I think that's what everybody kind of is hoping for. Is 2 ways to look at it, right? The rest, sure, kind of take the mental break, some bullpens, work on some things. The other part is when you're struggling, the anxiety can build if you're not careful, and it's a lot of time to think about it. But he's out there now, and so far he's looking sharp.
Another strikeout, this time on the changeup.
A good combination here from Bryce Elder. First, it's the slider. He threw another good one. And how about the depth and the bite that he gets on that changeup going down to get the punch out? That's a good one.
So 3 Ks first time through the order, and now back to the top in Tatis.
And that life you're talking about, CJ, that was something that Walt felt like they saw a glimpse of in his last outing against Pittsburgh. Felt like it was better than it had been, so they wanted to give him another longer break with the hope that you might see some action on his secondary pitches like you've seen tonight.
Yeah, that slider, another good one there. He's only thrown a couple, but they have looked good tonight. Well, you can see why, right? The 4 days, that is your regular rest. And Bryce Elder this year thrown the ball really well in the 9 times that he's had that opportunity. So you got to adjust accordingly, right? As soon as you start to hit a little bit of a bump in the road, and you don't panic, but you saw the Braves kind of give him a little bit more time, and obviously now here with the 10 days.
Remember, on May 26, his ERA was sub-2. Now it's up over 4 with some of those struggles in June and to start July. Looking for a 1-2-3 inning here. Olson says he's got it, and he does. A fun conversation coming with Eli White. Joey Bart coming to the plate. Flashback, Whataburger, what a play. This is the homer you were talking about against Sears in San Diego.
Yeah, ball that was left up, looked like maybe a little hanging changeup or two-seamer there that Joey Bart was all over. Big home run for Joey Bart. Part of the reason he's probably in the lineup again here tonight.
Sears so far has retired all 6 he has faced. And Sears came over in that Mason Miller trade for 4 prospects at the deadline last year. But this year, he just didn't win a spot in the rotation. So that's why he was in AAA until making that season debut June 24th against Atlanta.
And it wasn't as if things were going great in El Paso for him either. 14 starts and an ERA of nearly 8 for JP Sears. But they have dealt with some pretty significant injuries here in San Diego. Lucas Giolito, Joe Musgrove, Nick Pivetta, all on the IL right now. Pieces that they anticipated having in their rotation. But Yu Darvish, I guess, on that list as well. And it's been an issue here. So opportunity, lots of it exists in the rotation for the Padres.
And with those injuries, they're bottom 10 in ERA as a starting group. First-year manager Craig Stammen, former Padres player, played his final 6 seasons with the Padres. 13 years all told at the big league level as a pitcher. Full count, and we'll do it again. Seventh pitch of the at bat is a strike, a slider. Bart knew it.
He had gotten that 3-2 fastball that he just missed, was laid on, and maybe anticipating another one, and gets locked up with a slider that's elevated but inner third.
But at least a 7-pitch at bat to make Sears work a little bit. He only threw 9 pitches in the first, only threw 9 in the second. Now he faces Jim Jarvis.
So they'll play Jarvis like they will most left-handed hitters, with the shortstop playing up the middle. There's some room there on the left side. And they also want to take away the bunt. So Manny Machado plays on the grass, and most of what you're going to get left on left is going to be working away. And so maybe an opportunity there for Jarvis, who handles it well, to just kind of poke one to the left side.
Oh, diving stop by Song. Jarvis runs so well, but they're able to beat him. Tip your cap there to the shortstop, Song.
That's a nice play, and exactly why they play up the middle. They anticipate that's where the ground balls will be. Braves will not challenge this one. It was the 2-seamer. You kind of see it down the middle there, right? So he sees that fastball and thinks, maybe I can't hit that the other way. A little bit of late movement comes in, and that's when he ends up hitting it on the ground up the middle instead.
Yeah, just got him.
It's a great play and a great throw. I mean, look at that, an absolute strike over to first base.
So the first 8 have been retired here by Sears. Bottom of the order, Eli White. Eli was saying before the game, everything's going great at home with wife Molly, the 3rd child that was born just before the All-Star break. Now a couple of boys and a girl. I said, you guys done? He's like, not sure. He said, we're going to give this some time and see how 3 feels.
It's a great time to ask, like almost immediately after.
Yeah.
Chaos everywhere, because I think his oldest is only 3.
Yeah, they're
a
all
lot going on right now.
They're all close together. He's like, give us some time to figure that out. Well, Sears 9 up, 9 down so far. Scoreless after 3. Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Truist. There's the Truist building as we go to the 4th inning. No score between the Padres and the Bravos. 2-3-4 here. Jackson Merrill will lead it off against Elder.
I mean, it's one thing when you get in a 2-strike count. It's another thing when it's 1-0 and you see a chase like that on a fastball well above the strike zone. It just tells you, one, the hitter's a little bit anxious, but also just not seeing the ball particularly well.
And his reaction also telling. You could just see in his face that's something he's been struggling with. Sharp roller to Ozzie. No problem. What are the Vegas odds on a Machado bunt here?
Well, since it's once every 10 seasons, I think probably not that high.
Talk to us again in 2036.
I think his contract runs through then, so
it feels like it does.
You can see they got a couple that run through 34. Machado only through 2033.
Pretty deep. Harris still going at the wall, and it sneaks out of here. Machado, 20th homer of the season to lead the Padres, and it puts them on top 1-0.
I think I like the bunt idea better for Manny Machado, and aggressive here, right? The bunt was on the first pitch. This is on the first pitch, and it is a slider. See how that one pops up, though? You can see it right away out of the hand, which means Manny Machado could see it really well. I'm not sure if that was intent to have that kind of get me over first pitch strike slider, or if it was just a mistake from Bryce Elder.
So 1-0, and now Ty France. Wondering where the defense chants were coming from. It appears it's from our tarps off section here that's forming.
For a second I thought it was T France. Like, what? Aren't we in Atlanta?
Yeah. I think it's those guys.
Big fans of defense.
They're recruiting. If you build it, they will come. And Jarvis can't stop it, and France is 1 for 2.
Four-seam fastball here at 93. Mislocation. They're trying to go down and away. Joey Bart's going to come back and see the glove right over the heart of the plate there as Ty France hits that hard ground ball. 102 off the bat.
Gavin Sheets 0 for 1 and 1 for his last 28. It's about to be 1 for his last 29. Lazy fly to Harris. A quick message from Zaxby's.
Think chicken bacon ranch is all the same? This is Zaxby's. Think again. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
Now this is a contract with still a long runway.
Yeah, they got a couple, like I said, 2 contracts that run through 2034 for the Padres. It is Fernando Tatis Jr. and Jackson Merrill. Machado and Bogarts are the ones that run through 2033. And Drake Cronenworth through 2030. But the production has not been there for Xander Bogaerts, and is part of the concern. It always feels like they're a little bit locked in payroll wise because of some of those big contracts, but AJ Preller always seems to find a way. And now the speculation surrounding the Padres again. I don't think they're contenders that can really hang in there, and whether or not they might trade Mason Miller. 3 more years of control after this one for one of the best relief arms in the game.
He has just been downright dominant.
Yeah, it's as good as it gets. And listen, it's hard to do year over year. I know he's one of the best. It's not a terrible idea. I know Padre fans hate the idea of it.
Park's going to challenge. Looked like this caught the inside corner. ABS challenge will be powered by T-Mobile.
I agree.
Close up, turn, pitch and strike. Atlanta has 2 remaining.
Yeah, they're 2.5 back of the wild card race, but you could say that so many teams are in it right now on both sides, especially the American League.
Third place in that division, and as you mentioned, you look at 2.5 games back, but they have to leapfrog 5 teams to get there. So what happens over the next couple of weeks certainly will be pretty impactful. But if they don't gain ground, and you're looking up at 5 teams regardless of the number, it's just a lot.
Because if you go by the numbers, 23 of the 30 teams in baseball are either currently in the playoffs or within 5 games of a playoff spot. So you could make an argument that only 7 teams are truly out of it at this point.
Which is potentially going to make for a really boring trade deadline. That's the part we don't like. All of a sudden the Red Sox have figured out how to play baseball. A couple of pieces we thought would be traded. The Tigers are hanging in there, although I think they are going to subtract. And no bigger name than Tarek Skubal potentially that'll be out there.
Pitch number 50 tonight for Elder. Fouled away. Checking in on the Red Sox. They're winning again right now against Baltimore 3-1 as they go for their 14th straight victory.
The Orioles came in with a 7-game winning streak. A couple of hot teams.
So Braves will go to Baltimore this weekend. Riley waits back. On to Ozzie. And on to the bottom of the 4th. Never know what's going to happen in the tool race.
Might get drilled.
The drill getting filled a bucket. Photo finish. All right, Toyota Trends feature. Underneath Walt Weiss chewing gum. 5 or more runs in the last 9 home games. That's the longest streak for the Braves since June of 2019.
Think about some of the offenses that have been here during that time. That is pretty impressive and good to see. Right, we knew it was going to come back. The offense would get it going again. And they have, including this man and Drake Baldwin.
Been a
Player of the week, right?
Yeah, National League Player of the Week. And a big part of it. Incredible series against the Rangers. But twice tonight he has grounded out to Cronenworth. Feels like the Braves have had some okay swings, but yet Sears is perfect so far.
Just those couple of strikeouts in the last inning, but a lot of contact. I think that pitch in particular, that slider, Drake would have liked to have taken another shot at. That was more on him missing the barrel than Sears making any kind of exceptional pitch. No.
Yeah, that one missed.
It's one of those things where you get that much of a call, almost feel like it's mandatory to take another shot at it, whether it be a fastball or another changeup.
He went out there. Ozzie reached for it. No balls, 2 strikes. Ozzie, there's the first Braves base runner and base hit. He'll stop at first with a single.
0-2 after a couple of changeups. JP Sears goes to his slider here. We know that Ozzie has got great plate coverage. This is not a bad 0-2 pitch, but to Ozzie Albies it is, because when you go wide, you got to get wider against him. And that has to feel good after everything that went on yesterday. Ozzie had an 0 for 5 in there, so a nice base hit here to get things going in the 4th.
1 on 1 out for Matt Olson. Good pick by France, and he scrambles back for an inning-ending double play. $33% off tickets with a freebie frenzy flash sale. Choose from any remaining home games to unlock this amazing deal. There's still 14 gate giveaways that are also included, so check it all out. Braves.com/flash. Elder facing Jake Cronenworth here to begin the 5th. Cronenworth missed that first Braves series with a concussion. He was out almost 2 months, May 4th until June 29th.
That was concerning, right, with the concussions, and you want to be extra careful. You mentioned Fermin as well, and we see him in our game. Obviously, we see him a lot more in a game like football, but they happen in baseball, and they put that concussion IL in a few years ago, and that was a smart move.
That one went around the head of Elder, thankfully cleared him, and Jarvis makes the play.
He's done such a nice job defensively. You mentioned this one kind of going right by Bryce Elder. That'll make you panic for a second, but just perfectly positioned and a smart play to play it back, right? No need to try to catch that ball in the air and have a tough short hop. Play it perfectly and a good throw. And Jim Jarvis has been an absolute treat. And if you heard Alex Anthopoulos talking about the acquisition of Jim Jarvis, it was pretty fascinating when he came over in the Rafael Montero trade. And Alex on MLB Network Radio gave zero credit to himself. He said not 99%, 100%.
Harris charges, but he's going to stop, and a single for me.
That all the credit went to what he called kind of that senior inner circle that he has in the handful of assistant GMs and those in the front office that identified Jim Jarvis as a guy that we were taking a flyer on, and he's been great.
Yeah, Braves were familiar with him from his time as Alabama's shortstop, even though, as we've talked about, he's from San Diego. His older brother, Luke, played at Auburn, and that kind of set the stage for the comfort of Jim Jarvis and the familiarity with SEC baseball to come out east and play for Alabama rather than stay out west for one of those good teams out there. Ozzie, there's one. Jarvis with a strong arm to get 2. What a bullet from Jarvis to Olsen. Now they're not going to challenge him.
They knew they were going to have to hurry, and for Jim Jarvis, you want to make sure, of course, get the out at second, but thinking bigger. Wasn't the best toss, but a nice recovery and a good throw over there to Matt Olson.
Austin Riley leading off the bottom of the 5th, 1-0. The only run in this ball game. Solo homer by Manny Machado in the 4th.
So that double play to end the inning for Jim Jarvis. He threw that baseball at 89 miles an hour. From a pitching standpoint, he doesn't get you that excited, but so far this year he's got the 10th strongest arm among infielders, averaging 86 on his throws.
And he needed the pace to get Song on that play. That was nicely done.
A guy that we just saw in Mason Wynn, and even 90 miles an hour leading baseball amongst infielders.
(2-0) here to Riley. Had 6 hits against the Rangers, including the 2 homers yesterday. You mentioned how the home run off the fastball, the better sight for Austin Riley. And he agreed. He said that was my favorite one. The way that I hit it, the pitch type that it was, that it felt really good.
And he just got under that one in his first at bat too. He hit it hard.
Did he get under this? How far is it going to go? And warning track power. He's all over it. You could tell He wants that one back.
Just like the first one, it's 106 miles an hour off the bat of Austin Riley. Again, when he was getting under baseballs, he was not driving it with authority. This is driving it with authority and just missing it now twice.
But the swing's much better for Austin Riley. Michael Harris bouncing this foul. He's our Georgia Natural Gas Greener Life Impact Player here tonight. We talk about hard hit balls a lot with Michael Harris, and we're going to do that right now again.
Yeah, there's your raw total, 100 miles an hour and higher for Michael Harris, and he's got a teammate, Matt Olson, as well, who has been getting it done. It's interesting to see Tatis Jr. on this list because it hasn't been a great year for him. He's been better lately.
Harris puts it in the air toward the chop house. And this ball game is tied. Just enough mustard.
As he hits that 101 miles an hour. Remember his first at bat, he had that sweeper that he was frustrated with. He had just missed it. He gets another one here, and just enough to get it out for Michael Harris to tie this game up.
Whew, I wasn't sure.
It was in the air a long time.
And the way that Tatis was tracking, I thought maybe he had a beat on it. France has a beat on this and takes a hit away from Dubon.
Catcher's interference.
Oh, yes. On Fermin.
I was wondering why he stopped running, and we don't really see that from Mauricio. Of course, it did look like it was going to be a routine out, but I'm like, that's not really him. And now we know why. And Drake Baldwin did this yesterday and turned it into a base hit. You play it live, whatever happens, and obviously in this situation, you'll take first base.
Here it is. Oh yeah.
I feel like we're seeing a lot of it this year. Just barely.
One on, one out for Joey Bart.
So you got a tough combination right now as far as any potential stolen bases go here. JP Sears has not allowed a stolen base so far this season, and Fermin has thrown out 33% of potential base stealers. 23% is your league average.
They're going to check on Mauricio.
It's one of the things the Padres have done well between Fermin and Campusano. They've thrown out potential base stealers at a pretty good rate.
Both of those guys have missed time, substantial time this year, but both healthy now. Sharp and fair. Just fair. Dubon racing to third. They're going to wave it. Throw to the plate. Cut off. And the Braves grab the lead.
That was aggressive. Now, Sheets has a pretty respectable arm. What you got was a baseball that looked like it kind of got stuck against the wall. First, take a look at the changeup here to Joey Bart. Not a bad pitch. It almost looked like it caught the back end of the bag, too, and stayed down and skipped. And so there was some uniqueness to this. That ball just died right there, and Sheets had to come all the way around. And it almost looked like maybe Mauricio Dubon was deking a little bit, like he wasn't going to run, and then just pretty much went from third to fifth gear and took off. Well done by Mauricio Dubon and Tommy Watkins, putting some pressure on this San Diego Padres defense. They have good arms in this outfield.
Yeah, Tommy did not hesitate, and it paid off. And how about Joey Bart? We mentioned the homer he hit off of Sears out in San Diego. He delivers an RBI double right there to put the Braves on top.
He's got to love that RBI. Probably not anticipating that at all, and that's just a great base running and combination of Tommy Watkins and Mauricio Dubon making it happen. Now, the other thing to consider there for Tommy Watkins, which is really smart, we think about what does a third base coach have to be concerned with. You got to know where guys are playing. You got to know their arms. In that situation, you have a left-handed thrower. So as he's coming over to get that baseball, he's got to get all the way around it to be able to pick it up and throw it, as opposed to a righty who's going to barehand it and get it in a lot quicker.
Going to get another look at it here as Bart moves to third base.
Let's watch the combo here. I couldn't tell if he slowed up or not with any intent. No, not really. Just kind of found a little extra gear here and continued to go hard. And probably caught Kevin Sheets by surprise as well out there and left.
Tommy was 60 feet down the line. He was about ready to score himself.
And we talk about wishing we could see kind of the heart rate monitors on players. Get me one on Tommy Watkins in that situation too.
Another run 90 feet away here, but 2 outs and a 0-1 count for Eli White. Fermin keeps it in front, saves a run.
No wild pitches on the year either if you're thinking about a potential ball in the dirt. And part of that, I think, with J.P. Sears is that he doesn't have the big breaking ball, right? Doesn't throw a curveball for a left-hander. It's sweeper, slider, breaking balls that are a little bit easier to block in the dirt.
A lot going on this inning yet. Riley on a 3-0 pitch almost hit a homer. Got the tarps off crew growing and growing.
That one grew fast tonight.
Yeah. Harris barely gets it out. Catcher's interference. It helps Dubon come around to score. Now a 2-1 pitch coming to Eli White. 2-2. We'll do it again. A couple of South Carolina kids squaring off here. Eli White from Greenville, J.P. Sears from Sumter, South Carolina, just over 250 miles from here. Played at the Citadel. Delivering another 2-2 pitch, but he's going to step off. Got him. but the damage is done. Braves get the lead, and CJ had started with Money Mike.
Talk about the barrels often and how far he can hit the baseball. This one just far enough for Michael Harris and the Braves.
Now leading it 2-1 against the Padres. Two to 1 Atlanta over the San Diego Padres. Top of the order, starting with Tatis here after Elder only threw 6 pitches in that 5th inning.
That's a big one here. Obviously, the Braves take the lead. They're up by 1. It's into the 6th inning already. We got here pretty quickly. And if Bryce Elder can find a way to get through this one, that would be huge.
Well, we've had the conversation before as of late, CJ, but you go back over the last 32 games. Brave starters have completed 6 innings just 4 times in that stretch.
Yeah, that part of it, and we know Walt would love to see a little bit more length and try to take some pressure off the bullpen, but he has been dealing with the hand that he has been dealt, and Walt's very honest about it too, right? If a starter is struggling, but yet the Braves have a chance to win the game, he's going to go get that guy, and he's going to try to win that game in that moment.
But it has made it tough. There's no question. That's why there have been quite a few moves in that bullpen, rotating fresh arms, trying to figure out the rotation. Guys like Owen Murphy finding a role for J.R. Ritchie. But Elder so far has been good tonight.
Essentially, and yes, you'd like it, right? Give me as many starts that we're getting at least 6 innings and having a chance to win. But if you're not getting it, then it's the Didier Fuentes role that becomes so important. The multi-inning reliever who can pitch on the winning side of the baseball. And Alex has also talked about kind of what the deadline might look like, and as much as the Braves would like to get their hands on a starter that they can count on to get deeper in games, it's going to be hard to come by. So it's not going to be a lot of options. Now relievers, they are usually moving at a pretty high pace around the deadline, so it could be a situation where you strengthen your bullpen in order to help out a rotation that's having a hard time getting deep in games.
Elder helping himself out. Here's a quick message from Delta.
From Braves country to the world. Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
Back to the cutter again to a righty, and at least for Tatis, he has shown that that is a pitch he doesn't mind using against him. But in a 3-2 count, especially when you need a strike, some confidence from Bryce Elder to get that out with that pitch.
Jackson Merrill 0 for 2. But that same conversation you were referencing, that interview with Alex Anthopoulos, they asked him about Spencer Schwellenbach, and he said that he's going to start ramping up here at the end of July. But he also said, and you and I were talking about this before the game, that the prudent thing to do is not count on guys returning from injury and giving you much at this point. If it happens, great. That's icing on the cake. But you can't live off that right now.
I kind of like that mentality, quite honestly, right? Like you said, it would be a great bonus if it happens. Put A.J. Smith-Shawver in that conversation as well. But in the meantime, plan accordingly, like it might not work out the way you want it to. And so make sure you have the pieces to be able to cover it in case it doesn't work out. But who knows? Spencer Schwellenbach potentially in a relief role. If that maybe works out better the final month of the season, that'd be a nice boost as well.
A 1-2 is going to be sent foul here. And Wiley, Hurston Waldrop, also some unfortunate news yesterday, right? He was removed from his start.
Yeah, we had a chance to talk to Walt about that today. Through just 36 pitches, and he kind of took himself out of the game. And while there weren't many specifics, Walt essentially said anytime you have a starter say his arm doesn't feel right, that's not going to lead to a lot of good things. So we'll wait till we learn more. But again, you talk about the depth of this starting pitching staff. That'd be a considerable blow of the depth down in the minors.
Yeah, that is unfortunate news with Waldrop because he was so important to this team a year ago. Hopes were high coming into spring training. We saw that velocity jump even more. Then the injury came and had to have those loose bodies removed. But it's also, again, something that we really should consider anybody, whether it's a minor or a major surgery. There is some time after the fact. It's not just going to be, hey, I'm past my surgery, I'm past my rehab, I'm going to be really good again. It takes a while to feel right. And a lot of times that first year, it doesn't go the way you want it to.
Tarpsoff crew is doing roll call again, waiting for the players to acknowledge them.
Might be one of the bigger ones we've seen. I mean, Truist Park Tarpsoff crew grows pretty fast and they get pretty large, and we put some other places to shame, but this one got big quickly. There we go.
Perfect. Two-seamer right there at the bottom of the zone.
Well, front door here that's going to come back and catch the inside corner, but also down and just really well located. Even the way Joey Bart caught that baseball, like you're always looking to frame everything up, but he did it in a way like he knew that was a strike anyway, all by itself. It's the big one now right here.
Machado, the solo homer in the fourth. It just got over the wall in left center.
What an odd year, right? Just a .202 batting average, but 20 home runs.
Yeah, it's been feast or famine. Leads the team in homers and ribbies, but barely above the Mendoza line for Manny Machado. He has never hit below 256 in a season, to kind of put that into perspective.
I saw a note from somebody, and I'm not in charge of the baseball language, but trying to get that phrase changed to the Bob Uecker line, who was a career 200 hitter on the nose.
I'm all in. Anything that involves Ueck, I'm in. Harris going back. But the ballpark will hold this one. Elder through 6 with a 2-1 lead. In the middle there is Sam Rogers, 11 years old. He's today's Kids Club member of the game from Hartsville, South Carolina. Favorite player, Michael Harris. And he got to see Michael go deep in the 5th inning, so he is enjoying the ball game tonight. Congrats to Sam, today's Kids Club member of the game.
That's the day right there, right? Kids Club member of the game. Your favorite player hits a homer. Just missing one thing, and that's some ice cream.
And now Wandy Peralta, they're going to go to the bullpen here, CJ.
He's been excellent. One of the 4 lefties we talked about in this bullpen for the San Diego Padres. A 2-seam fastball that averages 96 miles an hour to go along with his changeup, slider, and 4-seamer. Does have some backward splits. A little frozen lemonade in there. Not a bad way to go.
With a bomb pop, too. Love those.
So not surprising he strikes out lefties at a higher rate than he does the righties, nearly double. But lefties are hitting better against him with a 721 OPS, 264 batting average. 2 of the 3 homers he's allowed have been from left-handed hitters.
Ahead of Baldwin 0-2, and he strikes him out quickly on 3 pitches, all sliders.
Take a look at this left-on-left slider here, and for Drake Baldwin in a 2-strike count, just trying to maybe foul that one off as he continued to slide away from it.
Ozzy's 1 for 2. And Mitch George over the PA reminding us that Baldwin had gone 36 plate appearances without a strikeout until that K. And remember, before that's when he was slumping and all of a sudden started striking out all of the time.
That is wild. I mean, to put together a streak like that is pretty impressive. 36 straight. And again, with the caveat of what was going on before then, which was, man, where'd these strikeouts come from?
Well, the game will humble you. It's the first time that Drake Baldwin had been humbled at the big league level, so to speak.
But at no point did he look like he was pressing or changing anything, right? I think that's really important, the way that he carries himself and the consistency in what he does.
Ozzy gives it a ride. Left field. Sheets back. Sheets at the wall. Sheets gone. 15th of the year for Ozzie Albies, and the Braves have scored 3 straight, and they lead it by 2.
So we know how good he is, right, from the right side against lefties, but that one right there, pretty impressive from Ozzie Albies. He can cover down really well. He can cover away, but he went up to get that 2-seam fastball from Peralta.
Here it is.
Take a look at the pitch here. Elevated 2-seamer, pretty good velocity. And Gavin Sheets making us think maybe he had a shot at this. It went off the wall. It wasn't even close.
In on the hands of Olsen. Slow bouncer to Saul. Well, the Braves now, that's 11 home runs in the last 4 games. The 9 against Texas. 2 more tonight.
Well, there's some consistency to getting to this part of the season. Warmer months, ball starts carrying a little bit more. Guys start feeling pretty good. And then those home runs come in bunches.
Austin said he celebrated his 2-homer game yesterday by going home, grilling with the family, threw a couple of fillets and a couple of ribeyes on the grill. Man after your own heart.
A couple of ribeyes sound great.
Everybody got to get home relatively early last night, have a normal night with their families before returning to the ballpark today. Four-pitch walk. Harris coming up. Our Zaxby's Who's Got the Sauce? Is that Harris homer from last inning?
That's a fun one to watch because we weren't sure if there was enough for it to get out. That's Michael Harris, and we know that he barrels it as good as anybody in the game, and just enough. Braves ended up scoring a couple of runs in that inning, but Michael continuing to get it done.
You know, when you're in a stretch like this of 17 in a row, mentioned the Braves lost 2 off days in August as well. It may not seem like much to most people, but having an early game yesterday and these guys getting home and having a night with their families, that's probably a big deal.
It is a big deal. And then we'll get the early game on Thursday, makes that travel a little bit better to Baltimore, which helps. All right, every little bit helps during a stretch like this, especially now that we're on the other side of the All-Star break. Right, some of that kind of August days will kick in. You start to drag a little bit as it gets a little bit warmer, and so you're absolutely right to have that kind of time. You know the hours when you are playing this game and how much free time you're going to get.
That's a good point about Thursday too. If you play that game at 7:15 and you're in this stretch, that can be tough. You get up to Baltimore really late, but that won't be the case.
I'm guessing it's that early too. I don't know where. Oh, the Padres are going to Miami, so it's not even like they have that far of a flight. Sometimes it has to do with that. There are rules in place for Major League Baseball, but that's not what this is.
Is that going to stay fair? No. Yeah, long trip for San Diego. The 3 in Kansas City, the 4 here in Atlanta, and then 3 down in Miami before they head back home.
Yeah, especially for these boys from San Diego, that it's the humidity tour for them right now. And don't be fooled. Kansas City could be the worst of the group.
Another 2-2. Another foul ball. Same thing. This one over towards Wiley's well.
So that is a weapon, and that's what we saw Matt Olson have to face, and that's a two-seam fastball that is in. Running hard in on the hands can be really, really difficult at this velocity, but Michael's doing a nice job of fighting those pitches off.
Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming. This one in play after 4 straight foul balls. Insurance for the Braves, courtesy of Ozzie Albies.
Fun to see here as he goes up and he gets 96 miles an hour and smashes it off the back wall of the San Diego Padres bullpen. Braves are now up 3-1 here against the Padres.
Bryce Elder starting the 7th inning of his night here. Carshield, defensive play of the game is his line so far. The only mark against him, that solo homer by Machado.
That's a thing of beauty right there, and 76 pitches as well. So the pitch count is in a great place, and Walt is thrilled to see him pitching into the 7th inning.
That ball is hit deep off the bat of Ty France. Dubon leaping, but he's not going to get it. So a pair of solo homers tonight for the Padres, and now it's 3-2.
This is going to be about location for Bryce Elder on his two-seam fastball, trying to run it in on the hands, but it actually looked like he was trying to go back door, and it came back over the middle. Always the danger with that pitch, and it's going to be it for Bryce Elder.
Danny Young is going to come into the game here. Elder exits 3-2 Atlanta in the 7th. You are watching Braves Vision, powered by Southern Company. 3-2 game now. It's on to the bullpen, CJ.
Yeah, and taking a look at what's available, and we knew this coming into today. For me, Dylan Lee, Dylan Dodd, Didier Fuentes down today. You're not going to touch them. Now, Iggy, the pitch count isn't bad. 16 pitches over back-to-back days for him. I think if there's a chance to close it, I'd still be pretty comfortable doing that. Medeiros has had a couple of days off. He certainly is available. Tyler Kinley as well. But been a couple of times earlier this year for Bryce Elder where it seemed like the full bullpen was not available to him, and he was kind of in some tough spots where we saw where Walt would push him a little bit further because of that, or maybe didn't have the big arms coming behind him and cost him some games, and it's the case tonight. So it'll be up to the other guys to get it done, and can't just rely on 3 or 4 all season long in your bullpen.
And you know Bryce is going to think about that pitch to Ty France and be frustrated he couldn't get through 7. But all in all, he got into the 7th. He only gave up 2 runs.
And you'd sign up for that all day long, right? 6 innings, 2 runs, a quality start from Bryce Elder based on how things have gone. You're absolutely right. He's thinking about the last one, but overall a good outing for Bryce Elder.
And France has been hot. That's 5 homers in the last 6 games for Ty France. He's been their best hitter as of late.
So as far as Young goes here, too concerned necessarily with the pinch hitter here, and Rengifo is a switch hitter, righty next, but he's been good against right-handed hitters so far this year.
So Rengifo off the bench and delivers a single the other way as he takes the place of Gavin Sheets.
It's really simple with Danny Young. 2-seam fastball and the sweeper. That's the first hit he's actually given up to a right-handed hitter so far this year. The lefties came in 4 for 8 against him at even 500, but righties were 0 for 8, so make it now 1 for 9.
Tying run at first. Xander Bogaerts at the plate. Stay tuned for the stretch. Fueled tonight by Resurgence Orthopedics with Nick Green and Peter Moylan.
The catcher's challenge in the ball call.
Really, really close here. Red ball's running away because it's a 2-seamer.
Call's correct. Atlanta has 1 remaining.
Wow.
Could fit an index card there, right? I think between the baseball and the strike zone.
Barely.
Maybe.
Barely. So Braves down to 1. Padres still have 2.
His strength is keeping the baseball on the ground, and with nobody out and a runner at first base, it'd be a great time. Now I think 1-2 count, you take a shot at the punch out, whether that's a sinker off the plate or maybe a breaking ball at his back foot.
One-two pitch here to the 4-time All-Star. A check over.
The one pitch I'm surprised that he doesn't have when I watch Danny Young, because at the very end of my career, toiling around the minor leagues, I dropped down to a lower arm angle, maybe a little bit lower than him, but not by much, is the changeup. Because when you get to that lower arm angle, if you can figure out the right changeup grip, you can get some really good depth on a changeup as far as trying to keep guys off of that good fastball that he already has.
Last 2 have both been sweepers here to Bogaerts. That's the second disengagement. Rengifo goes. He'll have to return.
Almost looked like a cartoon right there. Looked like he took like 4 steps but didn't go anywhere. His feet were moving so quickly.
It's only the 3rd game with the Padres for Rengifo, by the way. He started the season with the Brewers as their 3rd baseman. He struggled. They released him in June, and then the Padres got him, put him in the minors, and called him up just before the All-Star break.
Always liked him as a player. There's some value. You can move him around. He's scrappy. He can run.
He's running again. It's going to keep him out of a double play. There's your first out in the 7th.
Now I think you want to be running when you have a guy like Danny Young anyway, if you can, just because you're trying to stay out of that double play. But because he'd already thrown over twice, I think it makes it an even easier decision to go in that spot.
Jake Cronenworth in his 7th season with the Padres takes that sweeper low and away. High chopper. Jarvis charges. 2 down, tying run to 3rd. Medeiros is the one that is up right now for Atlanta.
He's emerged here a little bit. Victor Medeiros has thrown the ball well a couple of times, and I think he's starting to gain some of the trust here of Walt Weiss. We knew he'd probably be involved as well tonight, and kind of again, those secondary guys are going to be called upon to try to finish this game out.
So Luis Campusano is going to come out here and hit. That's going to prompt Joey Bart to go out to the mound and Walt Weiss to come out and dip back into the bullpen. It'll be Medeiros and Campusano in a 1-run game when we return. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Rooms to Go. Buy the piece, save a little. Buy the room, save a lot. By your local Ford dealer. And by Amazon. Spend less on your kids back to school. Turned into a really beautiful night here at Truist Park. Braves clinging to that 3-2 lead. All right, Victor Medeiros. He pitched the 2 innings on Friday against the Rangers. Also had that 2 RBI hit. A big spot here for him.
It certainly is, but he has thrown the ball well. Cutter, 4-seam fastball, 2-seamer. Those are the top 3 pitches. He's got a changeup, sweeper, and slider as well. But so far, so good here for Medeiros.
So Campusano is the one off the bench. The catcher's going to step in here. He missed that first Braves series with a fractured left big toe. And he returned on July 3rd. He's down 0-2.
So now you're in a good spot here to go ahead and expand. More often than not, your pinch hitters are going to be aggressive. You want to take full advantage of it. How about the struggles there for the Padres? A pinch hit already in this inning. But now 6 for 60. It's an even 100, worst in baseball.
Medeiros trying to keep those numbers down. 1-2 pitch coming. Fouled out of play off the bat of Campusano. And Luis Campusano is from Augusta. He went to Cross Creek High School there. So back home in Georgia.
Sweep that cutter down and away here.
There it is. Like that location?
I do. I want a little bit more away, maybe an almost upward. Is looking at like it's in the bottom of the zone, but then finishes off the plate. To strike a little bit longer.
99 that time. Padres got up 1-0 on the Machado homer. Then the Braves couple of homers to get up 3-1. And now 1 run here in the 7th and the tying run at 3rd for the Padres. Two. Full count. Now the bottom of the order and Sung Moon Song on deck.
So big decision here, right? A lot of foul balls on the fastball, and Campusano has been on it a little bit late, but he's been able to see it well. The question becomes, what is the comfort level? You hear me say often, I don't love the cutter in the zone, but it's not a standard cutter. That is more of a slider. I wouldn't mind seeing it as a strike.
8th pitch of the at bat. He walked him. Threw the cutter, but certainly that wasn't where he wanted it.
It's a tough one there to go to 0-2 and then walk in with an 8-pitch at bat, but you start over now. A little bit of a respectable contact hitter here in Song, but the cutter plays well to him as well.
So Jace Bowen will pinch run.
All right, so who's going to catch?
Duran, who they just activated today.
Okay.
Yeah, they're carrying 3 catchers at the moment. Song waits. Cutter is in there, 0-1. Strikeout and a double play so far. 0 for 2 for Song.
So I think you got to go in and understanding your hitters in this spot. I mentioned in the case of Song, low strikeout rate, second lowest on the team behind Rengifo, but neither guy necessarily with a lot of plate appearances. He will draw his walks. You're going to have to go after him in the zone.
Out to center, and Michael Harris will set up shop and take it, and the Braves maintain that 3-2 lead. Madero's loving it as we head to the stretch.
Welcome to the stretch presented by Resurgence Orthopedics. From the field to everyday life, movement matters. Resurgence Orthopedics is here to help you stay strong, stay active, and stay in motion.
Welcome to the stretch presented by Resurgence Orthopedics. Nick Green and Peter Moylan here with you. Peter, the Braves bullpen's been taxed a little bit over these last 2 days. You know some guys are down. They needed a longer start from Bryce Elder today. I know he wanted to get through 7 innings, but he did a nice job overall.
He did. I hate the way it ended for him, obviously, with that home run, but just the 2 solo homers today, and you'll take that all day long through 6 innings. You could just tell there was a level of comfort with Bryce when he came out to the mound today. The sinker was moving the way it was supposed to. He was getting a ton of swing and miss at the top of the zone, some cut fastballs to right-handed hitters as well, which I really liked. But I talked about a 3-pitch mix pregame, just wanting to lock 3 pitches in, but he had 5 working today, fielded his own position beautifully, and he needed 5 to get through this Padres lineup. But I love the bounce back from Bryce, especially after what we've seen in the last couple of starts. There was just some confidence that he can definitely use and build from tonight.
Well, hopefully the Braves can add some runs on here against a Padres bullpen that has been scuffling in the month of July. It's a 3-2 ball game as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Let's get you back to Braves baseball after a quick word from our friends at Resurgence Orthopedics.
The pain that I had in my knees was now taking away my ability to be mobile and to exercise the way I wanted. When I first spoke with my doctor, we clicked very well together. I'm exercising today, thinking about mobility 10 years from now.
Braves looking to take game 1 of this 4-game set against the San Diego Padres. And while Peter and Nick just talked about Bryce Elder, I want to focus on the other half of the battery tonight. Joey Bart, who has stabilized the catching position for the Braves along with Drake Baldwin since he was acquired on June 19th. The Braves have used just 2 catchers. The previous 6 weeks before he was acquired, the Braves used 7 different catchers. And while Weiss touched on that the consistency has helped, not to mention he's shown a little bit of power, and he's also shown a penchant for pummeling the Padres.
Yeah, it's been a little bit deeper and kind of leaning on catching depth this year than we have ever seen. Most catchers in a single season here since this franchise has moved to Atlanta in 1966. So let's hope that part is over. We get everybody healthy. It'd be good to have Sean Murphy back. Joey Bart's done a nice job. And, of course, the leader there in Drake Baldwin.
Joey Bart due up second, but it starts with Dubon here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Speaking of a Baldwin-Dubon connection, down at the cage before the game, funny moment, I was talking with Dubon. Baldwin comes up. He goes, "Let me tell you a story about this guy." He said, Last year when I was playing with the Astros, we came here to Atlanta. It was in September. Drake was having a great year. So Mauricio coming up to the plate. He's never met Drake Baldwin. He says, hey, Drake, you know, congratulations. You're going to be Rookie of the Year. Incredible season. Great to have you in the league. And Mauricio said Drake snubbed him. He didn't say anything to him.
Really?
And Mauricio, hopefully that didn't hit his hand. I don't think it did. But Mauricio was surprised by it, and Drake does not remember Mauricio saying that to him. Drake says that the batter before, Zach Cole of the Astros, in his first big league at bat, hit a homer, and Drake was really mad with the pitch that he called, and so he was so angry with it. He said, whatever Mauricio said, I didn't hear it. But Mauricio said, when I signed with the Braves, I told myself the first guy I'm going to in the clubhouse is Drake Baldwin. And then he realized, oh, wait, Drake's a really nice guy. And so Drake's like, I don't even remember hearing you say that.
That's a good story. It's fun that you end up connecting and being on the same team, because you can't wait to then give a guy a hard time when something like that happens. But I'm sure after being around Drake Baldwin for all the 30 seconds, he realized, oh, this guy's awesome.
Yeah. So all is forgiven. They're good buddies.
Talked about this hard throwing bullpen, and Rodriguez is another one. See a foul. Let's check that changeup at 92 miles an hour, and that is actually the pitch that he throws the most. So he's got a 2-seamer, 4-seamer, 97, 98 on average, as Rengifo stays in the game, is out in left field. We know that now Duran is going to be back there catching. The changeup is the go-to. 22 of the 38 strikeouts here for Rodriguez have come on that changeup. And that's why you see the reverse splits, right? You have a good changeup, you lead with a changeup, you're probably going to be better against lefties than you are righties.
22-year-old rookie from Venezuela. And he's ready to deal a 1-2 to Mauricio Dubon. Fouled away. Now, Rodriguez did have 7 appearances last year with the Tigers, but still considered a rookie. And he strikes out the veteran Dubon with 98 at the top shelf. Joey Bart, that RBI double in the 5th. Down the third base line. That scored Dubon after the catcher's interference.
And how big was that, right? The idea to send Mauricio Dubon in that spot didn't seem like it necessarily off the bat that that's the way it was going to go down. And in a 1-run game, that proved so far here to be really important. Much of what we saw with the Braves and some of the base running, and Matt Olson staying out of that pickle and being safe, and what that led to in that inning as well. The little things, they all matter.
.99, so he got Dubon with 98, Bart with 99. Message right here from Yamaha.
Introducing the world premiere of the 29-foot series from Yamaha.
Medeiros over there trying to stay loose. No one in the bullpen right now for Atlanta.
Yeah, so again, I don't know how Walt feels about Raisel Iglesias potentially if somehow the Braves can get through the 8th inning and have a 1-run lead in the 9th inning. The pitch count was low, but that's just my kind of guess on that. It may not be the case. And right now it's Medeiros who looks like he's going to start that 8th inning.
There's that bread and butter changeup from Rodriguez that CJ talked about. 1-1 here to Jarvis. A couple of groundouts tonight for Jim Jarvis.
As good as he has been, as live as his arm is, for me, you got to be looking middle away, right? If he gets that fastball in, so be it. You're probably not going to get to it anyway. But if you even start trying to look middle in with a guy that throws 98, 99, you're going to be toast and spin yourself into the ground when he throws that changeup.
That one right there.
Yep, good approach right there, right? Not pulling off the baseball, trying to be short, hit it the other way. But this is tough after he throws that heater. And again, the changeup, we can see it, right? It's going to be 92 miles an hour, but it's so hard to pick up, and it doesn't have a lot of depth, I think, which makes it even more difficult compared to the fastball.
Jarvis does put it in play. Machado was over in the shortstop position. 1-2-3 frame. Three-two on to the eighth. Let's talk about the Braves bullpen. Our Comcast Business Defend the Mound feature. Braves still the top ERA in the National League for bullpens.
Yeah, they've been doing a great job all year. Now, of course, tonight looking a little bit different here with most of the big arms down because of the work that they've been doing.
You like this, though. One pitch, one out in the eighth with Medeiros back out there.
So the cutter's a great pitch for aggressive hitters, and Fernando Tatis Jr. certainly is one of those, right? You think you might see a fastball out of the hand. You start to swing because you're hunting a fastball and you're trying to catch it off the barrel. It sounded like he might have broken his bat on that one as well.
Jackson Merrill. Just the fifth appearance this year with the Braves for Victor Medeiros. Of course, he'll remember the last one because of the 2 RBI single in that blowout win against the Rangers. Different spot that he is put into tonight. Very high leverage situation. So far, he's passing the test. Jarvis squeezes it.
The Braves have done an excellent job pitching to the scouting report here with Jackson Merrill. Elevated fastball with a little peach fuzz behind it there at 96 miles an hour. One big one to go, though, right here at Manny Machado.
Solo homer back in the fourth. Michael Harris back to take it. What a job by Medeiros. You can see the emotion, the energy. He's loving it. Braves with a 3-2 lead. Braves so far in the month of July have scored 99 runs, 3 tonight, but it's been enough. That leads us to our truest leaderboard. So most runs per game in a month since 2020, and July of 26 is looking pretty good.
Yeah, pacing really well. I'd like to see that number go up. Walt Weiss would like to see that number go up, especially on a night like tonight. There is nobody warming up in the Braves bullpen, which makes me think, of course, that Medeiros will be going back out, and a couple of more runs here I think would make everybody feel a little bit better. He's doing a really nice job. It's not a knock on him at all, but this is not his usual role in trying to close out a tight game.
New pitcher, the lefty Kyle Hart, is on here for the San Diego Padres.
So this is where you get a little bit more of what you're used to seeing. Now the fastball still firm, but sitting around 94 miles an hour, mostly a 2-seamer. He leads, though, with his sweeper. He's also got a split in the slider.
Pitch count's not working for the lefty. A message from Alpha Insurance.
No matter what life throws your way, we'll be there knocking it out of the park. Getting you back home safe and sound. That's life with Alpha Insurance.
This piece of equipment appears to be working for Kyle Hart. Couple of strikeouts swinging against J.P. Sears, the starter tonight for Eli White.
The other part of Iggy, right? Again, the pitch count wasn't very high. It seems like he will end up being down here tonight. I think if he was going to come in any situation, it would have been this one. Is because relievers have missed time, including Raisel Iglesias this year. I don't doubt that he said he could go. I think it's a situation for Walt where he doesn't want to maybe take that chance right now. And knowing how important this bullpen is now, if it's October, he's absolutely in there. If it's chasing the last week of the season for a postseason spot, he's absolutely in there. But it is still July, and you're still in first place.
And Medeiros just 5 pitches there in the top of the 8th.
Nice to get that man back when he does. And Robert Suarez, he certainly has been missed, but again, the bullpen has done a nice job.
Mentioned the Braves being in first place, up 3 games over the Phillies, who are starting a series tonight with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the Phillies are on top 5-3 right now in the 6th. Three-2, 7th pitch of the at bat here.
No,
he can challenge it. Yes.
The batter's challenging the strike call.
This is where ABS really makes a difference.
It's not even close.
Call's overturned. Atlanta has one remaining.
Now you get great speed down there. There's nobody out there. That's such a big difference.
It is, and clearly that one missed by a lot. And you start certain guys I do think are a little bit hesitant, right? We've seen it with Austin Riley at times. I think Eli probably thought about it for a half a second, but then realized it missed so badly. And because of the leverage spot, now you hate to lose it going into the 9th, right, on one that's a little bit closer when you're up by 1. But I'm with you. That was a great call by Eli.
Oh, they got him. A snap throw from Hart, and he had Eli with just a slight lean.
Now, you don't see him too often. There wasn't much of an argument from Eli, and so you're not going to see the Braves necessarily challenge this. But the step off, the snap throw like that, he is clearly out as the tag gets him on the forearm. It's not something we see very often, and this has been an area of improvement for the Atlanta Braves. Early on, they were having some problems. The first 3 months of the season, they had gotten picked off 10 times. It's only twice now since the beginning of July. Excuse me, of June.
Well, that's a big first out. Now Drake Baldwin on the heels of that amazing series against Texas. 0 for 3 tonight. Couple of ground outs and a strikeout.
It's the 3rd pickoff of the season for Kyle Hart in just 34 innings.
That's an impressive snap throw. He caught me off guard.
You don't see those work too often, quite honestly, for lefties, because you usually have a pretty good look. Now, it's noticed that Eli was kind of tilted to the side there a little bit, and you start to get locked in. And for some of these base stealers, you're just going to stare at your feet. And when you're facing a lefty, you're really just going to focus on the right foot and keep an eye on it. Is it coming towards you? Not really thinking about that snap throw nearly as much. And so perhaps he got too much locked in on the right foot and ignored the left.
So back-to-back full counts. That is a strike. Painted on the outside corner.
Good looking fastball here. It's a two-seamer, so it's got a little bit of run coming back. 94 miles an hour, but right there on the corner.
Kyle Hart trying to have a bounce back outing, as he gave up 4 runs Friday in Kansas City when the Padres were up in that game, and the Royals, that helped them come back to win 7-6. First time he's pitched since. Right now, Ozzie Albies, his solo homer in the 6th inning. That is the difference in the ball game. Ball and 2 strikes. Well, thinking ahead to the top of the 9th. 4, 5, 6 starting with Ty France, who had a solo homer in the 7th. And again with a pin quiet, it will be Medeiros for Atlanta.
And knowing that this is Ozzie's strong side, right, against left-handed pitching when he is hitting from the right side, I wonder how often it's happened where he's gotten 4 plate appearances against 3 different lefties in the game, right? A couple of plate appearances against Sears, and then the home run against Peralta, now here against Hart. Usually you get to the pen in a close game, you're going to try to turn him around the other way.
Taps it foul. Certainly would love one more trip to that left field bullpen just for a little breathing room. Nowhere near. Two outs, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Batter challenging strike call.
That's just because we could see the box. I was hoping Ozzie wouldn't challenge it so the Braves could take one to the 9th. They're not going to be able to do that.
The call's correct. Atlanta has 0 remaining.
All right, Medeiros back out there looking for 3 more outs and a victory. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Chevrolet, proud partner of the Atlanta Braves. By the Georgia Lottery, today could be the day. And by Comcast Business, all in connection and protection your small business can rely on. No one does business like Comcast Business. Well, Victor Medeiros, this is just his 17th Major League Baseball game. He hasn't had these opportunities often. In fact, he has never had a save at the professional level. He's got a chance to change that here tonight.
How about that note right there? Go back to July of 2021. That was the last save that he had when he was in college pitching in Cape Cod in the Summer League, which is pretty incredible. We know this. The guy pitches with some emotion. He certainly pitches with confidence, and I don't doubt that he wants to be in here right now for this moment.
He's facing Ty France, who, as we said earlier, has been over the last 10 days one of the hottest hitters in baseball. He has continued that tonight with a single and a solo homer. One and two.
I mean, you go back even to college, summer league, everything else. He only has 32 relief appearances at all, going back to when he was 20 years old.
What a big spot. What a big opportunity. 1-2 pitch. Up and out. He struck him out. 97 on the top shelf.
No fear right now here for Victor Mederos as he has gone through now the first 4 hitters in this lineup. Also, of course, faced the last 2, but this is the bulk, right? This is the big part. As the game gets later, the intensity increases and the pressure mounts.
He threw just 5 pitches in that 1-2-3 8th. He strikes out France there to start the 9th. And here's Rengifo. And these 2 guys were teammates with the Angels. They know each other, so that adds to the plot here in the top of the 9th. Ground ball, and Rengifo gets the better of Mederos with a 1-out single.
You do have Tyler Kinley throwing in that Atlanta Braves bullpen. 97-mile-an-hour heater right here over the heart of plate. Mentioned Rengifo. He's usually pretty good as far as putting the baseball in play, being short to it as he was there. What a fun little double play. Let's get out of here and watch the reaction from Victor Mederos.
Bogarts at the plate. Inside. Well, he's hit it on the ground 3 times. You'd love that to be a 4th here in the top of the 9th. Just 12 total appearances at the big league level scattered over the last 3 seasons with the Angels for Mederos, and now 4 this year with the Atlanta Braves heading into tonight. Hit it well, but he also hit it foul.
So it's interesting too, with Bogarts up, Cronenworth on deck, and what's happened with Tyler Kinley, who's in that bullpen, right? The home run issues that he's had with lefties, he's gotten them out, but half of the hits against him have been a home run. So I do wonder if it's Cronenworth that he is getting ready for, or perhaps after that, another righty that is behind Cronenworth in Durant.
1-2. Softly out to center. Harris charges. He gets there. Lost his hat. Found the baseball. 2 down in the 9th.
Cutter here. Weak contact. You were worried that this ball might be sinking fast, but Michael, as he always does, making it look easy. That great closing speed.
And Mederos is going to stay in this game to try to get the final out. There's a strike. Little surprise Cronenworth didn't challenge. San Diego still has 2. Braves have none. Ozzie bobbles it. But they still got him. Mederos, vamos. Braves win.
Coming into this game, there was some concern about the state of the bullpen, what was going to be available tonight. And Victor Medeiros was one of the arms that was available. My goodness, does he step up in such a huge way here, not just to close the game out, but to do it multi-innings in a one-run game here against the Padres. This ball was hit pretty hard in and out of the glove, but a nice recovery, just to bring up that intensity a little bit more at the very end. And for Victor Medeiros, awesome. Still not the biggest moment at 26 with the 2 RBIs, but congratulations on your first big league save.
All the emotion, all the feels. We'll be back to Truist to wrap it up after this.